Me, I am from Brazil. I have been working with the community land trust model since 2018 when I first met the model, exactly with the Canio Martin Peña experience. So I'm so glad that Maria was able to present before me because the Puerto Rico experience is our inspiration and should be an inspiration for every group, for everyone that wants to know more about a successful community land trust in the Global South. I want to share, firstly, um, a brief context about informal settlements in general and about community land trust in informal settlements. Of course, uh, although me and Maria are sharing experience in informal contexts, we know that community land trust it's a very successful model in new constructions, in cooperatives, in housing in general. So it's really important to since the beginning start explain everyone that community land trust is not a receipt that you need to follow in one way or another. It is a model that could be adapted for a lot of contexts, a lot of possibilities, a lot of types of housing. So this is really, really important, and it's one of the most strength power point of the model for me. But let's speak a little bit about this context. We are here talking about informal settlements, and we have the impression, we have the feeling that this is an exception in the world, an exception in our cities, a place that should be reviewed, a place that should not be there at all. But actually, we are talking about a global reality. We have some data, some very interesting data here. Around of 85% of all housing worldwide is built illegally. So it's built outside the laws, outside the rules about construction. And by 2050, so in more 25 years, we will probably have nearly 1/3 of humanity, urban or rural, living in informal settlements. So we are not talking about something that must be ended, something that must be fixed. We are talking about the tendency of the growth of the city and the housing possibilities. And informal settlements are not just a precarious place. We are talking about territories that could um, give any city could allow affordable housing. There is something really hard for low-income people that are built with no outside regulation. So they are built considering the needs of the residents. They are self-built, so they are usually built by their own residents that reunite themselves and try to fix things and try to build things that could definitely help them, and not just to obey some outside law, some outside rule. And they are unique. uh, Maria just told us about the Caño experience. Caño is a low-income community in Puerto Rico, and Caño is completely different from the favelas in Rio, and I will show you some pictures of the reality that we face here. And I'm pretty sure that the Caño Martin Peña and the favelas in Rio are completely different from the informal settlements in other countries, in Africa, in Asia, in other countries in South America and Latin America. So the flexibility of the CLT model, it's really important to guarantee that it could be an option in every country. Well, the informal settlements, they present for us some challenges, of course, but also possibilities. So we have as a challenge the land tenure. We usually have some challenge related to the ownership of the land and a way to guarantee that the residents will remain in their territories after some improvements that we could fight for, that we could try to implement in our project. We have, of course, challenge related to infrastructure, challenge related to public service. We have commonly a tricky relation with the public sector, but we have also a lot of possibilities. We are talking about territories with innovative solutions, even if they are really simple. They used to be very innovative, very creative, to guarantee the needs of the residents. We have some strong social bonds and we need to preserve it. It's really important to keep it. We have all the solidarity between the residents, even considering all the individualism that we have in our society nowadays. And we have a lot of self-governance skills. It's very hard for us imagine how we can teach or how we can learn self-governance. It's very hard. But in the informal settlements, we have the most able people that, well, already know about self-governance and they are used to apply that in their territory, take care of the, well, most different needs. And this is a very strong point. This is a possibility that we should keep. Well, so in all this scenario of precarity, territories that need improvements, but also territories with a lot of possibilities, a lot of potentials, why think about a community land trust? Why it could be important for us? First, the legal model of the community land trust that Maria have already told us. So the separation between the ownership of the land that is held for all the by all the community and the ownership of the house owned individually by the families, by the residents. This mechanism that could sound very simple actually is responsible to guarantee the permanent housing, to guarantee the affordability, to guarantee that people will remain in their territories. And this happens because most of the value of of housing is related to the land, is related to location. So when you say that land will be with community forever and outside the market, you are saying that this value that will increase with time, that will increase with the improvements, this value will be forever for the community. They will not, that value will not impact the price of the houses. So the houses will keep affordable for perpetuity because they will be sold by itself. And this locational price, the price that somehow retains all the improvements and well and get bigger, this value will be with the community retained and will avoid some speculation process. Beside that, the community land trust is able to maintain the common assets developed through informality. So the community land trust has the possibility to recognize the work that some community have already done in their territories and, well, maintain these common assets. Is not a model that came to say, oh, you have to do in a completely another way. We have to change everything in the territory. No, we should keep whatever is interesting to keep, and we should improve what we need to guarantee a better life for the residents. The community land trust could also maintain this affordable house stock that is, in fact, in informal settlements in our cities. Even if we think about co-ops, there is a much more worldwide known model. We are in many cases talking about informal housings. We are talking about informal land, even in the co-ops initiatives. So this informal is the place where affordable housing is in most of our cities, and the CLT is able to keep it. They and the CLT also not just allow but encourage the self-organization. So the idea is not to pass responsibility to a institution, to an NGO or something, is to guarantee that people will be empowered to, well, continue self-governing their territories. So, what is the core component of a CLT? Any CLT, anywhere. We can talk about a favela, we can talk about some CLTs in the US, in Europe. We can talk about a CLT together with a co-op. In any case, we have these 5 core components. So we have a voluntary membership. Nobody should be obliged to be part of a CLT. We have this collective owned land. We have the individually owned homes. So is this mechanism, the separation mechanism that, well, I was spoken with you. We have the community control of a CLT. So it's not some institution that will came and control the territory. No, the institution is formed and governed by the residents, and we have the permanent affordability of houses and the secure of the land tenure for the residents. So this is the core components. So here's some images just showing what we are talking about. We have in conventional property, in conventional ownership, an individual property of house and land. And in the community land trust, we have the separation, a collective ownership of the land and an individual ownership of the house, of the construction. And this is, well, quite simple, but quite revolutionary when we thought about land value and how to preserve from real market speculation. So CLTs in informal settlements or even in new housing is collective rights over land, individual rights over houses, over construction, and this combination results on a more robust right to adequate housing. So we get to not just solve some legal, some formal aspects guaranteeing this formal arrangement for the community, but we also empower people to improve, to fight for their territories. Now, in my last minutes, I want to talk a little bit about our experience in Brazil. There is the Favela Community Land Trust. In Rio, today, we have approximately more than 1,200 favelas, and this is huge. About 1/4 of the population of Rio de Janeiro live in favelas, in informal settlements in the city. They are territories very consolidated with a long history, and this is really important because people want to remain in their territories. Their mothers, their grandmothers used to live there, so people have a memory, have these roots in this territory, and this is really, really important. Here, just some pictures for you to understand. Rio de Janeiro, it's a city with a lot of mountains, and these favelas used to be in these mountains. Here's some pictures for you to understand how they live, some aspects of precarity, but also a lot of possibilities, a lot of creativity. So here, more pictures of favelas, children playing. It's really interesting places defined by not just precarity, but defined also by culture, defined by self-built knowledge, defined by a lot of richness that should be kept. Well, in Rio, we have a very important challenge related to the land tenure. We have a lot of favelas located in very valorized places in the city. And these favelas are always threatened to be evicted because these places are really interesting for the real estate market. And of course, they want to do another use of this territory. So here a map showing some evictions during the mega events period between 2009 and 2016 in Rio. So we have a lot of favelas that were absolutely destroyed and people moved from the other completely other direction in the city, and this is a this had a huge impact in their life. We have a severe increase of the prices of housing in Rio during this period. And in this context, it was really important for us to start to think in a model that could guarantee the formalization of the housing, the formalization of the land tenure, the formalization of the land ownership and the house ownership, but in a way that guarantee that residents could stay. Here is a quote from a resident of one of those favelas that were completely destroyed. And well, she's saying that documents, just documents, don't guarantee that they can stand in their lands, because she had two documents, and even though she was she was evicted from her house. So we start to think about community land trust as a model for the favelas in Brazil, very inspired by the experience of Puerto Rico with Canio Martin Peña. We started to manage a lot of meetings with residents, with technicians, social movements, people from all the society that are that work with housing or are worried with that, to think about the model, to think if it really makes sense to bring the CLT to Brazil, if it really makes sense to think in this arrangement for favelas. And we have a very important recognitions during all this period. We have an increased interest in the community land trust in all the regions of Brazil, and Brazil is a continental country, and we have a very different challenge in different regions, but everyone in the country talks about community land trust as a possibility, as something that must be explored. We already have the community land trust recognized by legislations in Brazil, and this is really important. We have a very dynamic network of academics working with the model, reflecting about it, and of course, helping us to shape the best form for a CLT in Brazil. And we have a national law project now tramitating in the federal level. And if this project is approved, the CLT will be a very a more fact will be affected in all the country. We already have the tools to guarantee to apply the community land trust in Brazil, as Maria said in Puerto Rico. Actually, Brazil and Puerto Rico use almost the same legal structure for community land trust, but to have a law, to have this this recognition by the government is really important to guarantee the apply. Here is a picture that synthesizes, that summarizes the idea of a community land trust for us in Brazil. So we have the community holding the land and supporting all their territory, and the individual holding his house, supporting his individual effort to build the house, to improve his house. And this is what the community land trust means to us. And it's really interesting. Here, a website for anyone that wants to know more. And we will, after this training session, we will share some materials with all of you. But it's really important, just to finish my presentation, to highlight that the community land trust model is very flexible. It could work in informal settlements with, well, a high level of precarity. It could work in a new housing place. It could work together with a co-op to guarantee the formalization of the arrangement related to land. And this is how we are so excited to present it to you, to continue discussing, and to understand better the possibilities for the model in each of your country. Thank you very much.